Hello, folks, and welcome to our channel. So, today is going to be a channeling with Katherine Swynford. It's actually spelt, well, I think it's spelled like Swineford, but it's Swynford because I've just Googled it. So, before I get to why we're doing this channeling, let me do a bit of a backstory because I know those of you that follow us across the three different channels like to see why each piece of work links in. So, a few months ago now, I went to a place called Tattershall Castle in Lincoln. And all these castles and palaces seem to have second-hand bookshops. So I went in and I got a big bag of books. And one of them was Catherine by Anya Seton. And I took it home. I didn't read it for ages, and I picked up, it was an old copy. I think it was one of the first copies ever done. So I opened it up, and the font was really bad for me. And there was just something with it that I just couldn't cope with. Like the first chapter just went wrong, and I just couldn't do it. So I gave the book away to charity. The very next day, a parcel came from one of my followers, and I could tell that it was a book, and I was like, oh, it's a book. So I opened the book parcel up, and lo and behold, it was a book called Catherine by Anya Seton. And I was like, but it was a different copy of it. I think it was a newer version of it. And I was like, I'm sure that's the book that I've just thrown out. So I Googled it and it was, and I was like, oh. But I thought, okay. Day after I chuck it out, it comes back in again in a different form. I meant to read it. So I put it on the shelf and it took me ages to get around to it. And I got round to it when I started to read it. I had that same resistance. The font was better in this one, so I didn't have to deal with that. And I had this same resistance to it. And I just kept feeling just push through, push through, push through. And I did, and I got over that hurdle with the book. There was nothing wrong with the book, it was just energetic stuff for me. And I absolutely loved it. Loved it. Loved the book. In fact, I'm going to be talking about it on the Thackeray's in August's reading wrap up. And I was like, I want to visit the places because I know I didn't. Do you know, I'm living in Lincolnshire. I was raised in Yorkshire, born in Yorkshire, and I'm living in Lincolnshire. And I didn't realise just how much history has happened here. And lately, it just seems that there is book after book after book that I'm reading in relation to Tudor Queens, Henry VIII, historical fiction, whatever, that happened in Lincolnshire. But the Catherine Swynford story is predominantly Lincolnshire, different parts of the country as well, different parts of the world, but a big part of it is Lincolnshire. And there are a few places that I just felt really pulled to. So I've been pondering a little mini vlog for our other channel, the Thackeray's. And yesterday, the day was right, we did the vlog. And when we saw the grave, we had a discussion of, do you think it'd be a good idea to try and do some form of channeling and launch the vlog and the channeling on the same day at the same time and link them both in the descriptions? And I was like, okay. But the thing is, I don't just like to just channel. I like to have a meaning for channeling, to sit with a spirit, to not just sit with a spirit for gossip or just to do it for the sake of doing it. And I was like, okay. So I pondered it, and we were sat in the cafe in Lincoln Cathedral, and all of a sudden, this download came to me of what we're going to be talking about in a channeling. And it was like, oh my God, yes. And there is an eyelash that is irritating me. Oh my God, yes. The power of a fallen woman. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? But it's not me thinking it, is it? It's spirit. The power of a fallen woman. So if you're new to Katherine Swynford, like I kind of was, but the weird thing is people have been having sessions with me mentioning Katherine Swynford. For all that I've heard of her name, I never really knew anything about her, apart from this Tudor thing where the line was came from a line of, they used to call it bastards, we call it illegitimate. That's all I knew. So Catherine Swynford was the mistress and then became the third wife of John of Gaunt, Duke of Lancaster. Um, and she had a lot of children. Before that, she was married to Hugh Swynford. and she had children to him, children to, excuse me, children to John of Gaunt, and the John of Gaunt, the Beaufort line, Margaret Beaufort, yes. So grandmother to Henry VIII, and Catherine Swynford's line is still going today with King Charles. So what started off as, I mean, I've got the book here because I bought this book yesterday at Lincoln Cathedral by this is by Alison. I've not started yet, Alison Weir, and it's Katherine Swynford, the story of John of Gaunt and his scandalous Duchess. So from what started off as a scandalous Duchess and affair, has actually had the most profound effect on the United Kingdom and possibly the rest of the world. So the fact that this energy spirit wants to talk about how a fallen woman can actually have such profound effects on our internal history, our external history, and our collective history that can go on for thousands, hundreds of years, thousands of years, I think is really profound. What would you class as a fallen woman? Well, in the world that Catherine lived in it was very similar traits to now, actually. Very similar. We've evolved, but we've not really evolved that much, to be quite honest. Um, It would be a woman that had sex out of marriage. It would be a woman that had children out of wedlock. It would be a woman that used her voice. It would be a woman that stepped away or broke away from the norm. It would be a woman that divorced. It would be a woman that was a mistress. It would be a woman that, just didn't behave herself. Okay, depending on what the people around you wanted to tag you with. Um, This morning I was getting ready and I was getting quite stressed because the time just seemed to be slipping away really quickly. And Catherine came through really strongly and said, "This is one of the problems with women of today, is this energy of needing to be everything to everyone, and it's making us all very ungrounded." Because of the divine feminine upgrades that are going on with women at the minute, it's causing all kinds of issues, ungroundedness, coming out of center, trauma, pain. And she says, what we need to do as women is to slow down. It will get done when it gets done. Just slow down. And before I came on, I connected with her energy, and she was in the woods at Kettlethorpe, which is where she lived, which is where we went, one of the places we went to yesterday. Lovely place. And because I was expecting her to be around the house of how it would have looked then, but she was in the woods, and she was like, "No, we're in the woods because women need to be in the woods. Never before have women needed to ground as much as they are needing to ground now." So then I pulled two cards, which I always do when I'm doing a channeling, and it's for me and the being. It's not for everybody else, but I always share them anyway. It's just something I always do. And I got Temperance and Ace of Wands. Because one of the things she also said was that in relation to being successful or in relation to achievement or being recognized, spirit, energy, universe, whatever you want to call it, higher self, um, it's not all about succeeding in one life. Yes. And we're trying to do everything in our current incarnation. We're trying to be abundant, we're trying to be healthy, we're trying to be seen, we're trying to be heard. But if you took the pressure off yourself and visualized all of your incarnations, not as one, but as time is, it's infinite, it's going, it's ongoing, rather than thinking I have to get it all done in this current lifetime. There's much out there about healing in your current lifetime and getting it all cleared. Stop it. Because that's what she was saying. Stop it. Look at her. I mean, right now, at the time of filming, there is a petition. There was a petition. I think it was 2021. Because when you go into Lincoln Cathedral, for although her grave is there, there's a little piddly sign there. There's no real, but of this woman that was hugely powerful, that is responsible for a lot. And it's almost like they're trying to now fight for her to have more recognition. And that's like, so 13. 1403 she died. Would that be 700, 600, 800 years later? You see what I mean? So take the pressure off of ourselves. Um, and if you think about when I was at Kettlethorpe yesterday and at the various other places, I could feel that it was all going on at once anyway. Does that make sense? It's all happening at once anyway. There isn't time is not linear. It's all ongoing. We will be shown aspects today of her with John of Gaunt. She'll be in the woods, she'll be in different places. She may even be show us different incarnations that she's had. Who knows? But does that not take the pressure off? Anyway, Katherine Swynford was born the 25th of November, 1350. She died on the 10th of May, 1403. So she's responsible for the Beaufort line and the Swynford line. Swine. I'm a bit triggered actually because I was saying the word Swineford yesterday in the vlog, and I just know for a fact that will be picked up on. But it is what it is. So let's go for it. You ready? Katherine Swynford. She's moved on to Pontefract Castle now because she knows of my Yorkshire heritage. So Pontefract Castle. She's walking around the outer walls. So the outer walls would be like the outer walls of a castle, if that makes sense. She's there. She's saying it's when the Civil War was happening, so it's been destroyed. It's not like it would have been in her day. So she's walking around these outer walls with us. And she's there because the air is blowing. It's blowing the cobwebs away. Her hair's in like what do you call it? A plate, depending on where you come from in the world. It's it's plaited. Okay, it's very long, it's plaited. There's no headdress on or anything. She's saying it was all very restrictive, the headdresses. She's saying a lot of women are wanting to be more free in their fashions now. Talking about she's now showing me the corset era and like the 80s era with all the shoulder pads and the suits and boofed hair and having to set your hair every day. She's saying women are moving more towards a more relaxed vision with their beauty. She's saying that she was a seer and that John of Gaunt protected her with that because obviously witch, etc. She was protected. She's showing me her and John of Gaunt sat together in a castle, I don't know if it's Pontefract Castle, and they're doing work with spirit. She could bring forward information from his ancestors and her ancestors. She would have liked to embrace herbalism and been more out with it. She said, but as a mistress and as a well-known mistress, she was walking a fine line. Um, she's showing me the castle now and she's saying, isn't it awful how things can be destroyed? That things that meant something to you in one incarnation, when you come back as a spirit, can have been destroyed to such an extent that it feels as though it never existed. She said that we can get attached to so many areas within our life. And at the end of the day, it's all nothing. It's nothing. It's dust, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. She's saying there are many places that she goes to and it's all changed. And there's a sadness with that. but it's also about the evolution. And she said it's the same as the evolution of the soul. That we are changing physically as well. We are breaking down. Hair going grey, wrinkles, skin sagging, gaining wisdom. And then we die and we go to dust, and then the soul goes on. She's saying she had many dreams of what was to come in the Beaufort line. But I don't know if it's Beaufort. In the future Tudor line that was to come. She would have visions of Margaret Beaufort, but obviously didn't know who she was. She's drawing my attention to something that I was pondering last night in bed. That obviously you will know about Henry VIII and the fact that he was, looking for an heir for the throne. He came from a line that was illegitimate or partly illegitimate. And it almost then he comes into it and he can't find the son that he wants. He can't, there's the Lord Fitzroy, whatever his name was. Lord Fitzroy, sugar. um, I want to talk to her about that because there's something there that I was tuning into, but I wasn't quite getting it. She's saying the court was very different to when she was there, and John of Gaunt was very different to Henry VIII. I also feel as well that Henry VIII was quite disgusted at being tainted from a bastard line. It was something, actually, his heel, it was something that hung over him. She's saying, if he'd have embraced his lineage, this is another thing for us. If he'd have embraced his lineage and made peace with it and made peace with his female wounds with women and how women should be, she's saying he could have had the heirs that he wanted. He was one of the main blocks in that story. She's saying John of Gaunt loved women. He was able to see all aspects of a woman, the physical and enjoy the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. He didn't feel threatened by women. He didn't feel ashamed neither. Obviously, I think Catherine was his third wife, and he would have had other mistresses as well. He wasn't, she showed me his heart chakra, and it wasn't all tears in John of Gaunt, it wasn't all closed up, it was open. He was able to enjoy life. So John of Gaunt had this exuberant energy. Henry VIII had it, but Henry VIII hadn't made peace with it. He'd not made peace with this slur, as they would have called it back then. She's saying when you want something so much, you can struggle to get it. So Henry VIII wanted an heir, wanted an heir, wanted an heir, a male heir. It ruined it. He couldn't get him. He got Edward, Prince Edward, but Prince Edward died as a boy. And when we want something, sometimes you can want something too much that you become blindsided and you blindside yourself. She said, Earth is meant to be enjoyed. We're meant to find pleasure in sex. We're meant to find pleasure in life. She's saying religion had a big part to play in it as well. She's showing me another lifetime where she was at Kettlethorpe and she was one of the first settlers to settle there to actually, I mean, I'm starting to research this now. I've not got the book. Oh no, typical Claire, unprofessional. It's in the bedroom next to my bed. Let me Google it. I was doing a lot of Googling yesterday because if I don't forget to put it in the comment section, which happens a lot. Oh, what's it called? Catherine's House, I think it's called. Let me just find it on my phone. Catherine's House. Oh, what's the name? Sarah Hogg, I think. I hope so. Otherwise, I will have to. Yes, it is. So, this is the book that I've started reading last night. Catherine's House by Sarah Hogg. And it's the story of Kettlethorpe right from the first settlers. And she's saying she was one of the first settlers to settle in Kettlethorpe to start to build that land up. She says, tell them about Avalon. She had Avalon connections as well. She's showing me a stone circle. I think it's Avery. It's the one that everyone keeps emailing me about. I don't know, it's weird. There's so many stone circles in the world, but this one I get emails about. And I get it comes up in sessions. Is it Avery? I'm feeling it's Avery. It's the one that's near. I probably said that wrong. Welcome to my channel. We say things wrong. Avery, is it Avery Stones? Oh, this is going to frustrate me. I think this is it. Yes, it's the Wiltshire ones. So she's got a connection there. Let me just look at some pictures of it. Yes, I'll hold it up and I'll be friendly. So she's got connections there. She's also a guide to Princess Charlotte, our current Princess Charlotte. She's one of her guides. It's a very interesting life coming there. Princess Charlotte has a past life as one of her daughters. So what advice would you give to fallen women to keep being fallen? To not comply? To enjoy ruffling feathers? You will be remembered forever as a fallen woman. No one remembers the quiet ones. They call us fallen women because actually we were the women that rose, that had power. We're now at the Castle Palace of Savoy, where the Savoy Hotel is now. There's a banquet that they're all getting ready for. So we're stood watching this banquet. John of Gaunt's there. He's not aware of Catherine because she's in spirit, even though she's not dead at the. Do you understand what I mean? We're going back in. We're time traveling. So she's there with us. We're stood there watching. You think, can you feel the tension? We're now seeing physical Catherine there. So physical Catherine, we're there with energetic Catherine, but we've got physical Catherine there, yes. And there is another woman being put under the nose of John of Gaunt. She said the funny thing is she has a worse history than what I have. and she's showing us because there's other people with me there as well, and it's you guys, and she's saying, looking at physical Catherine in this banquet, getting ready for this banquet, there's a sadness there. And she said, as a woman, we go through these periods of feeling so weakened and saddened, and we can't see the greatness that's coming and how history will look back. And I know we're not all historical women, but your family line, who's talking about the quiet grandma? They're always talking about the grandma that was a wild one. They're always talking about the aunt that was wild. So she's saying there's so much that she, energetic Catherine, would love to say to physical Catherine. Physical Catherine, call her physical and energetic. Physical Catherine, um, has no idea of the greatness that's to come. It feels like his first wife has just died. We're now back at Kittlethorpe. It's almost like she lifts herself up and she floats and flies there. There's a child buried there. She had a child and it's buried at Kettlethorpe. I don't think you'll be able to find it now because I think the bones of babies are quite soft. But she had a child that was buried at Kettlethorpe. She's saying there was a lot of women at that time that ran into trouble with pregnancy in relation to rape, abuse, um, bad medical attention, where babies were lost. There's something here about the loss of babies and the scars that has left on the feminine. She's saying throughout her time as a being, she has researched what a woman goes through falling pregnant, being pregnant, and giving birth. And it's profound. It truly is a spiritual experience. And the damage that can be caused when it's treated as dirty or immoral, it passes down the family line. Even, in recent times where people would whisper, she's pregnant, rather than say she's pregnant. She's now taken us to the execution of Anne Boleyn, and she was appalled at what happened there. She felt disgust. She felt disgust with what was going on with all of the wives, but particularly the beheading of wives. John of Gaunt felt disgusted in it as well. She's saying that it's not just royal ancestry, but our own physical ancestry, you don't realise what's coming forward in time. And sometimes there's an energy you can see your family playing out after you, and there can be a real disgust at what's happening. She says, in the role that you played in that without realizing what you played in. And we talked about the fact that Henry had such a trigger with being from an illegitimate line, partly from an illegitimate line. Let's pull a card for us all on camera. Wheel of Fortune and Sun at the bottom. Yes. Continuous. It's a continuous journey. You can either choose to stay stuck or you can continue to evolve, to change, to embrace your fate, to create your fate, to take charge of your fate. The sun at the bottom. To not run from your fate. She said one of the reasons many people are feeling lost now is a change in the frequencies on the planet. I've said this about karma and the karmic wheel. We used to be on a karmic wheel. There's still aspects of us that are still on a karmic wheel where you'd come to Earth and you'd have to go through. Whereas now times are changing, so we've got much more free will than we've ever had. And people are feeling lost because we're so used to having like a list of things to do when we come to Earth. We're feeling lost now. She said, particularly for women, they're struggling with these new roles that are coming up and these new energies that are coming in. Um, and we must work through that and release that and go forward from that. Another card that I pulled off camera that I've not shared yet is the unknown journey. Embrace the unfamiliar. Embrace the unfamiliar, the unknown journey. And this is from the Magdalene Oracle by Cheryl Yambrak Rose. Um, the unknown journey. It can feel quite scary, she's saying, as a female. I know it can be as a male, but we're talking to a feminine here. It can feel it can feel quite. He hasn't said fight. It can feel quite scary as a female, even in the modern world, to embrace the unfamiliar and the unknown. But as women, we're meant to be in flow. Do not control the narrative of how people see you and view you. If people think you are a whore, let them. Her words, not mine. If people think you are evil, let them. If people think you are troublesome, let them. Your time on earth goes really, really quick. She's saying, do in human, right, your time on earth, apparently you have human years, but as a soul, it's literally born dead. That's how, as a soul, that's how you feel it. So it's like literally going to sleep, waking up the next morning, even quicker than that. So time here is very, very quick. It goes very, very quickly. Don't waste it running. Don't waste it worrying about your legacy. Your legacy can't be taken off of you. She did say something earlier about different people, historians or writers. I need to do more research on her in relation to other books and other if there's been film depictions of her. If you know any, let me know. Any film depictions. Um, and also as all the fan base. She said people seem to have their own version of you. And it may have a little bit of you in it, the truth of you in it, but it's their version of you. She's showing me the womb and the womb being like the chalice. Here it is. Yes. And it's smashing, it blowing, it exploding, the womb. So this could be an upgrade that's coming. So The womb has been around forever. The physical womb and the energetic womb. But the womb has been hijacked by many different things. So we've all got a womb. My womb is built like your womb, but it's individual to me. Yes, yours is individual to yours. But all wombs have been hijacked energetically. Are you still with me? In this reclaiming of the feminine, the old womb is going to woof. Not, I don't mean you're physical. I mean there could be physical things that go wrong with you in relation to this, and maybe you need hysterectomies or whatever. Don't forget when it physically gets taken away from you, it's still there energetically. When we do the womb healing, it's still there energetically. Um, but there's something either happening now or coming where the imprint of the old toxic womb on women is going to literally blow. And you're going to see very strange behaviors in women, especially if they're not grounded, if they're not ready for it. Let's not ask for a time because people say, "What? When is this happening?" Let's not go down that route of when is this happening, because it could be very different for everyone. Some people may already be going through it. Um, what are the signs and symptoms of it, if you can even share that? Because again, signs and symptoms can be intermingled. Rage, sadness. There could even be an aversion to intimacy, of what intimacy has turned into. Does that make sense? The old version of intimacy. So this is about rebirthing a new version of intimacy. She's saying it can come in around things like pregnancy, birth. I wonder if it's already here. Perimenopause, menopause. Um, because I do know the guides at the minute are talking about the fact that pregnancy, giving birth, perimenopause, and portals, they're not just physical events, they are female portals of healing. And they're getting more profound. But I'm wondering if this thing that she's talking about is already happening. Which is why you'll hear certain generations say, back in my day, we went through the perimenopause and nothing happened to us. We just got on with it. Back in my day, you got pregnant and just got on with it. It's changing. I'm looking down there. I've got a picture of the box of Mary Magdalene there. It's changing. Yes, it's changing. Do you know what's there? She's showing me John of Gaunt riding away on his horse. And it feels as though this is the time of his transition because she's saying he will always be one of the greatest knights, even in different incarnations. It was turbulent, but it wasn't all perfect. It was quite turbulent being with him. It also had moments of being incredibly lonely and isolated. And there's things from that lifetime of having lived through that that she's having to currently rectify in other incarnations. We talk about Lincoln because Lincoln is a strange place. I've never been any. I remember when we first moved here, and I actually explained it like this. It was almost like I've been all over the United Kingdom, Wales, Cornwall, Scotland, London, all over the place. Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester, everywhere in the United Kingdom, Northumberland, and they're all very different. It's a strange old island. Um, But it was almost like, when you're watching a film and they're driving along the road and they go through like a bubble portal and they end up in a different, that's what it feels like. And that's what it felt like. And when we first moved in, I was trying to describe this to Gary. I said, it's like almost like this is a civilization, a place that exists outside the United Kingdom, but it's still part. You're driving along the motorway or the A road, whatever it is, or the long Roman road, and all of a sudden it blew. The energy's just it is bizarre, and I have never felt that traveling anywhere in England, United Kingdom, never. It literally is like it's a secret place that you just drive along and you go through this bubble of energy and bloop, and you're in there. Um, so let's tune into what she felt here and if she can help us to make sense of it. She said it's the amount of water that's here. There's a lot of water. There is parts of it. This is the science behind it that's built on water. Um, there's a lot of elemental spirits here that want it to be kept small and don't like intrusion. They could be like the imps, because the Lincolnshire imps are all over the place. They look a bit like, what's the name in Harry Potter? The little house elf, is it? What's his name? And I love him as well. I can't remember him. But they look a bit like they've got that kind of an energy. They're all over the place. Lincolnshire imps. Let me get you a picture of him. There you know. The Lincolnshire imp. A lynx imp. He looks scary. He doesn't actually look like that house elf, but I think he's got that energy. Um, I think he likes me. Um, with me, he reminds me of that little house elf. I think it's a house elf in Harry Potter. But if you got on the wrong side of him, he'd do you. Harry Potter house elf. I can't, but I'm so frustrated. Harry Potter house elf. I'm sure it's a house elf. Oh, that's it. What's his name now? Here he is. To me, he has that energy. Um, what's his name? House elf. Dobby. That's it. The ley lines of Lincolnshire as well. That's interesting. I'm seeing ancient Lincolnshire as actually a place on its own that wasn't connected to the United Kingdom. So there was, oh God, this is going to go way back. It's not always been connected. At some point, it's been an island that's been part of something else, but not just another country. It's been part of an ancient civilization. She's saying there's been lots of ancient civilizations, not just the main ones. She said it's a it's all very, very complex and multi-layered. She's saying like land can come together and form countries and stick together. Yes. She's showing me Lincoln as as an island that, ancient magic was carried out on. Ancient rules of the land that are still in place. It feels as though Lincoln is protected as well from all the kind of stuff that goes on in the UK. The overcrowding, the toxicity. There's lots of beautiful places in the UK. It's not as scary as people are making out at the minute. It's a place where people can come to and souls can come to for peace and for deep healing. It's not tarnished by expectation. When you think of places like Stonehenge, Cornwall, um, the Cotswolds, there's places in the UK that have expectation, London, and you can get there, you're like, oh, it's okay. They don't have that with Lincoln. You don't have the expectation of Lincoln. Um, it's a place where different people can be. I know the people are different as well. It's strange. Let's put a card on Lincoln. This deck is the After Tarot by Corinne Kenner. Card for Lincoln. On Lincoln. Lincolnshire. That's the cathedral. Five of Wands. The battles that have happened here. The cathedral. There's something with the cathedral. We went in the cathedral yesterday, and it's an amazing cathedral. The energy pulsates from that cathedral. So, show me the origins of the land of the cathedral. She was fascinated by the cathedral as well, and she loved to live near the cathedral. Not because of religious connections, it's something energetic. Show me the heritage of the cathedral, the land of the cathedral. Priestess, the feminine energy. And again, we've got this battle, the healing. So let's have a look at the cathedral. So we're going to Lincolnshire Cathedral. We're going to Lincolnshire Cathedral with Katherine Swynford. She's taken us back to an older version of it where it's stone and wood. She said, don't forget about churches being built in certain places on ley lines and power centres. At the top of a hill. I keep getting Glastonbury Tor. What if actually Lincoln is Glastonbury Tor? And Glastonbury isn't. Oh, don't kick people off, Claire. That is not a wise thing to come out with. Or something similar. Ancient islands. You're saying Glastonbury Tor with Glastonbury Tor, Claire. Stop it. But there's different islands and different. It was all different. It was all the world was all smaller islands rather than big islands that we've got now. Let's talk about Lincolnshire, the top near where the church is, the cathedral. I'm seeing it way, way, way back. It's not a stone circle, it's one big, but it's like a monolith. You see, it was a monolith that was there, a conductor of energy. There's so much about stones that we are yet to learn about. They were conductor of energy, send messages, anchor in energy as well. There's a lot of magic done there that not bad magic, good stuff that we can't access just yet. But the church was aware of this due to ancient scriptures, ancient texts. A lot of scrolls that were taken, a lot of things that people had written down about certain places of the country. There's something about the bricks of the cathedral. See, it's not the house of God, it's the house of feminine. We've got the high priestess. Oh, what was this? A few days ago, I was in a meditation, a self-meditation, self-Reiki session. Oh, was it around the time I'd read this Andrew? I've done a reading vlog looking at the new Andrew Lowney book of Prince Andrew. And during that I got a vision, or just after I got a vision of that monarchy has been hijacked. That there was always meant to be something there to look to worship, to follow. And what I was shown was something very much like this, a woman that was golden and glowing in a big temple that was beautiful. And it was almost like, I'm going to use words that we all know, the original royal family, yes. Um, Even though it's not royal families, we know it, that power centre that the country needed, that the world needed, or whatever, got hijacked. Yes. We were never meant to worship a man. We were meant to worship the feminine and the feminine within men as well. So it's the same with churches. Oh, do you know the whole? You won't know, but well, I've already said to you, I've got the box here with Mary Magdalene. I've kept looking, even though that is next to my Katherine Swynford book. I've been looking at I've been looking at Mary Magdalene more. Ooh, I said Katherine Swynford, didn't Swynford? Hmm. Anyway, could be another incarnation for her. What if it wasn't meant to be Jesus that we were worshipping? What if it was meant to have been Mary Magdalene? Let's have a card on that. And Jesus knew this. It was never meant to be Jesus that we worshipped. It was meant to be Mary. Have a card on this, please. The Empress, Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, the Creator, the three graces, the three women, the chalice, worshipping. I mean, this can be about going having a party. If you want to take it 3D level, you're going to have a party. But it's also at a higher level, the three graces, the three feminine. Their chalice going, they put their chalice up to bring down the wisdom. We were never meant to worship Jesus. He was meant to be part of it. We were meant to worship Mary Magdalene, if that was even her name. Um, so yeah, because when you go into, because Claire, you know, and Claire know triggers and we were certain things. Went into like a cathedral yesterday, and it was all like, there she is in a corner, and I just felt really passionate that Katherine Swynford, sorry, apologies, should have been more. It should have been more, like, even like a statue. She's saying she wasn't an incarnation of Mary Magdalene. She had an aspect of and a representation. I was looking to make sure my door was shut. A representation of, yes. Um, Yeah, she's saying these couples through history where it's the woman that takes it. She takes the flak and the man carries on being the man. Interesting. We have a card about this from this deck as well, in relation to the fact that we were meant to be worshipping Mary Magdalene. She said it would have been a very different type of worship. She said the masculine wanted to take over. She said they knew this was coming. She said it's all been hijacked, every single bit of it. Jesus knew it and he was happy with it. He was happy with the fact that Mary was going to be the one. Um, but the feminine, once that execution happened, had to go into hiding and it was rewritten. They weren't meant to be churches, they were meant to be temples. It was actually a time we were on the cusp of a great elevation, um, where we would have been worshipping the divine feminine. And this isn't just about worshipping women, it's about the divine feminine in men as well. Which is why the world that we're in now, where we're starting to step into the divine feminine, you're seeing the toxic patriarchal energies rising in men and women, women that want to hold on to that old patriarchal energy, that have been so conditioned that they can't see the end of the nose, what's beyond the end of their nose. Whoa. Whoa. Mary with the alabaster jar. Alabaster. Bastard. The bastard. You know what I mean? How it's all interconnected. Ask questions. Ask questions. Magdalene meditating, retreat the churches. They were never meant to be churches, they were meant to be temples where you could have gone for great. She said that blueprint, that energetic blueprint that the ancient wise ones had for these churches and cathedrals. They wouldn't have even been called, they would have been, I don't know. Oh, imagine it. You go into them. She said sorry, I know things are going quite quickly here. She's bringing my attention back to somewhere I've just been called the Left Bank in Headingley. And it's an old church that is now still a physical building of a church, but it's not the church. The church doesn't have it. It's a community centre. So they have retreats, yoga, crafting, book circles. I've just been to the full power cacao ceremony. So she's saying it's already happening. There are churches and people in charge of churches seeing the light where healing and healers. I mean, there's another one I'm going to as well that's going to be in a church. But we were never meant to have churches. They were meant to be temples where we're going for healing, for prayer, meditation. Um, wow. Interesting. Finding this interesting. Let me know in the comment section. What is your advice to going forward for from this session that we've had as a woman, as any kind of divine feminine, as a male that is trying to embody your divine feminine? She's saying don't fall out with each other. She said men are beautiful, just as beautiful as women. A man that is in his heart space. Um, don't look at each other as your enemy. Don't feel threatened by each other. Don't feel threatened by women. Don't feel threatened by men. Don't feel threatened by the system or the patriarchy. Don't feel threatened by your wants, needs, or desires. Don't feel threatened by your rage, your anger, your disappointment. Don't feel threatened by your flaws, your body, your vagina. Okay. Don't feel threatened by any of it. Don't feel threatened by your children. This was always meant to be a painful period in awakening. It's a time of deep contemplation, deep meditation, deep cocooning. Go steady. I keep getting this with the healing sessions as well. Go steady with your healing. She's saying there are people pushing themselves too far. They're expecting to go through the dimensions too quickly and they're blowing themselves and they can't do it and they're crashing and burning. Take your healing really steady. Don't forget you're here to be a human, to experience being a human. She's saying many people are feeling they can't come on a healing journey because they're too fat, too thin, not the right colour, not the right religion, not the right whatever. She said that's nonsense. I mean, my word there would be bullshit. Okay, when it goes through my filter, I would say that's bullshit. Um, Many people are feeling that their paths are too heavy. Again, bullshit. She laughs at my language. She's saying to me to enjoy whilst I'm here, still here in Lincolnshire, because I know that we're going to move eventually. Um, when I moved to Lincolnshire, everything just changed for me. Sessions, everything in a good way. To know that we are infinite, that we are ongoing. It doesn't all have to be done in one incarnation. She said the people that are just going steady away, each day by day, growing in their own way, not putting pressure on themselves. She said, I never lived my life. Well, Gary had a good point in the vlog that we've done. It's going to be uploaded at the same time as this. We were talking about the grave, and I was saying in the vlog that it's sad that she was never recognised. And she didn't have a proper nice tomb like we'd see. A lot of males are buried in there with, nice monuments. And Gary said, yes, but when she died, nobody knew about the Tudors that were. And I was like, whoa, yes. So when she died, she didn't know what was to come, that her legacy hadn't even really begun yet. It was to carry on. So that's what I'm also trying to say, that it's ongoing. Card to close down this session from each deck. One card from each deck to round up this session. The Emperor. Oh. Now, as I was shuffling, I don't know if you saw, but I the death card. Oh, you would have seen it as a card came up, and as I was shuffling too quick, and I lost it. And I was like, if it's meant to come up, it'll come up. Now, this isn't the end of men. This is the end of the old patriarchal energies that women can hold as well. I know of many women that could be quite toxic and idolize toxic patriarchal energies. Okay. But this is the end and the rebirth and the regeneration of leadership and rulership within our world. The change. I'm intrigued for another card. The Fool. Now, this is the after tarot. So when the designer designed this, she had the Radiant Rider-Waite deck in mind, but she did it and just after. So in the Radiant Rider-Waite deck, the Fool is on the on the cliff and he's about to take his leap of faith. He's took his leap of faith. He's like, shit, I can't do this. And he's grabbed back hold of it. So this is many people think I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. I don't want to lose the structures within my personal world and the external world. So I'm gonna still idolize the old because I'll be okay. I can do both. It's gonna be okay. No, it's not. Just let it go. And go with the changes that are wanting to come in. One more card from this deck, or two, depending on how we roll. Silence. Stones again, silence. And move on. Salome's destiny, moving on. So, deep healing, inner silence, keeping your own counsel, because it feels as though she's saying we need to be who we are, but also keeping our own counsel. Um, and this isn't for them, 1111 on my phone. This is for us. Silence. Let me do a parting of the deck. You knew this was going to happen, didn't you? Final card, I promise. Magdalene's portal. Gateway. Purifying. Not purifying as in the Virgin. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, but not what the patriarchal energies wanted from it. This is a gateway that we're in. So hopefully, if you're a man or a woman watching this, if you've got wives, daughters, granddaughters, sisters, whatever, you will have got something from this. As a woman, you will have got something from this to understand that you are currently going through many different portals, whatever age you are. Even your adolescent daughters are going through it. You see how she's brought us right back to the beginning? And that's how we visualize Katherine Swynford going forward, back through her portal, back through the other dimensions. In fact, she's not going like that. She's showing us she's on the horseback with John of Gaunt. They've gone. Thank you for watching. This obviously we weren't sure what we're going to which channel we're going to put this on, but I think it's going to be on Claire Thackeray. So if you're watching on Claire Thackeray, please note that the historical reads, we've got a lot of historical reads on CT's Raw Tarot. Oh no. CTGT Tarot. We've got a playlist on there of historical royal raids. We're not doing it from a perspective of gossip. We're seeing how the story is unraveling. I mean, like today, we were never meant to worship what we are worshipping, now what we have been worshipping. We were meant to worship something else. So that's why I'm keeping on this type of content. This video will be on Claire Thackeray. If you want to watch the story unravel, there is my historical royal reads playlist on CTGT's tarot and CT's royal tarot. So we're going to be watching how this plays out. That's on, and the links for that is underneath in the description box or the pinned comment. Also, as well, the Thackeray, so there's three YouTube channels: Claire Thackeray, this one, CTGT, what I've just mentioned, and the Thackeray's, where it's vlogs, chats, natters, books, etc. And all of the links are down below. This will be put in a playlist on here called Channeling Famous People. It's very different to the other channelings I've done. It's not actually. Um, don't worry. This is an extra channeling for this month of August. If it is going to go up in August, I'm not sure. But there will be, I think, another channeling coming through. Okay. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So yes, thank you for watching. But there is a there is a playlist on here called Channeling Famous People. So if you've enjoyed this and you want to watch others, there's a whole playlist that you can enjoy at your pleasure. Pleasure, leisure. It's time for a break. Ooh, rumbling Tom. Thank you. Oh, God. Ooh, just released something with me there. That was a big. Anyway, we've just released something. Brilliant. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.